Welcome to the Wellness Lab Digest, where we help you to absorb powerful, life-changing insights from top wellness experts with our daily bite-sized wellness podcast summaries. Each episode is packed with distilled, powerful takeaways to boost your health and well-being. To support this podcast, please scroll down on whatever app you're listening. Ratings and reviews are helpful. Even better, just send the show to a friend. Check out our sponsors at the bottom of the page, or simply click the Support the Show link below the episode description.
The human brain creates over 70,000 thoughts per day. But what happens when we can manipulate those brain waves with nothing more than sound? Today, we're exploring how simple audio frequencies might unlock extraordinary mental capabilities.
That's such a fascinating concept. The idea that we can influence our brain's electrical patterns just by listening to specific tones. How did researchers first discover this phenomenon?
Well, the discovery actually traces back to 1839. When physicist Heinrich Wilhelm Dove first observed how the brain responds to two slightly different frequencies played in each ear. But it wasn't until the 1970s that researchers really began understanding the practical applications.
And now we're seeing these beats used everywhere, from meditation apps to productivity tools.
Exactly. And what's really interesting is how precise this process is. When you hear a 440 hertz tone in one ear and a 444 hertz tone in the other, your brain creates this phantom 4 hertz beat. It's like your neural circuits are doing complex math without you even realizing it.
You know what amazes me? The fact that this all happens in the superior olivary complex, that tiny part of our brainstem that's basically our internal sound mixing board.
Oh man, that's where things get really interesting. This complex isn't just processing sound, it's orchestrating a symphony of neural activity across billions of brain cells. Recent studies have shown it can influence everything from attention spans to emotional regulation.
Speaking of influence, I've heard some pretty bold claims about different frequencies. Could you break down what each type of brainwave actually does?
So there are 5 main types, each with their own fascinating properties. Delta waves at 1 to 4 hertz are like the deep cleaning crew of your brain. They're active during restorative sleep and associated with healing. Theta waves 4 to 8 hertz are your creative powerhouse. They're what you experience in that dreamy state just before sleep.
And those are the ones people often use for meditation, right?
Exactly right. But here's where it gets really interesting. Alpha waves between 8 to 14 hertz are like your brain's sweet spot for learning and focus. Studies have shown that students who listen to alpha frequency beats while studying show up to 20% better information retention.
That's a pretty significant improvement, though I imagine the effectiveness varies quite a bit from person to person.
Well, that's one of the most fascinating aspects of this research. A 2019 study found that while about 65% of people respond positively to binaural beats, around 15% actually experience adverse effects like anxiety or temporary confusion.
Those numbers really put things in perspective. What about long-term effects?
That's where the research gets a bit murky. While short-term studies show promising results, we only have limited data on extended use. Some neuroscientists suggest that regular exposure might actually strengthen neural pathways, similar to how meditation can physically alter brain structure over time.
I've heard that some professional athletes are starting to use these beats in their training routines. What's the science behind that?
Oh yeah, this is fascinating. Beta frequency beats around 15 to 30 hertz have been shown to enhance focus and reaction time. Olympic swimmers have reported up to 8% improvement in reaction times when using these frequencies during training.
That's remarkable, though I suppose we should mention these aren't magic bullets.
Right. And this is crucial. While the neurological basis for binaural beats is well documented, they're more like a tool in our mental wellness toolkit rather than a complete solution. Think of them as mental training wheels, helpful for getting into certain states, but not a replacement for developing natural abilities.
Let's talk about practical applications. How can someone actually get started with this safely?
Well, first you need proper stereo headphones. That's non-negotiable. The effect literally doesn't work without separate frequencies going to each ear. Start with alpha frequencies for about 15 to 20 minutes, preferably in a quiet space. And here's a pro tip. Many people find it more effective to combine the beats with nature sounds or gentle music.
And what about quality control? There are so many apps and recordings out there.
That's a crucial point. Look for providers who specify exact frequencies and have peer-reviewed research backing their claims. The difference between a properly calibrated 10 Hz tone and a poorly produced one could be the difference between relaxation and irritation.
You mentioned earlier about adverse effects. What should people watch out for?
The main red flags are headaches, dizziness, or increased anxiety. If you experience any of these, stop immediately. Also, people with a history of seizures should avoid binaural beats entirely. The frequency following response could potentially trigger episodes.
Looking toward the future, where do you see this technology heading?
The potential is incredible. Researchers are working on AI-driven systems that can adjust frequencies in real time based on your brain's response. Imagine headphones that could detect when you're losing focus and automatically shift to help you concentrate.
That sounds like something out of science fiction.
Well, so did the idea of manipulating brainwaves with sound when Heinrich Dove first discovered it. The real question isn't whether this technology will advance, but how we'll choose to use it. As we understand more about our brain's electrical patterns, we're essentially learning to play our neural networks like instruments.
That's both exciting and a little bit scary.
Indeed. And that's why responsible development and testing is so crucial. We're not just talking about a new meditation tool, we're potentially looking at technology that could fundamentally change how we interact with our own consciousness.
Thank you for listening to the Wellness Lab Digest. If you have received value from the podcast, I have 3 asks of you. 1, share the show with your friends and send them a link to the show. 2, please leave a rating and review in whatever app you're listening. And last but not least, please let me know what topics you would like us to cover in the future. You can contact me by sending me a message using the Send Us a Text link below the episode description.